Karen storms away from the gazebo like a queen deposed, heels stabbing the ground, hair trembling with rage. But the show's not over. I follow at a distance, just far enough to let the silence chew at her nerves. She spins on me when we reach her porch, voice sharp. Karen, you think this little smear job changes anything? I've been on this board for 11 years. These people need me. Cam, no, they tolerated you because they didn't see what you really were. She tries the door locked. Confused, she fumbles her keys. Cam, oh, don't bother. That's not your house anymore. Karen turns slowly, disbelieving. Cam, your husband filed an emergency injunction yesterday, froze the shared assets, told me everything. Turns out, you didn't just bulldoze my foundation. You rerouted HOA funds to pay Linford Contracting. That's felony misuse of communal funds. Karen, that's a lie. I never touched HOA money without board approval. Cam, funny? The treasurer confirmed no such request was logged. And we both know your names on that transfer. A whole $12,000 wire from the Ridge Grove operating account. Karen's lips tremble now, color draining from her face. She looks behind me as if searching for someone, anyone, to back her up. No one's coming. I step aside as a sheriff's cruiser eases into the cul-de-sac. Out steps Deputy Marla Dunn, broad-shouldered, unsmiling. She tips her hat at me. Marla, Ms. Whitmore, I have a warrant to seize HOA financial records and your personal phone. We've got probable cause for property destruction, impersonating a public official, and misappropriation of funds. Karen backs toward the door. You can't arrest me in my own neighborhood. Marla sighs. Ma'am, you don't live here anymore. Your husband signed the property over to his sister last night. Seems he's tired of footing the bill for your crusades. Karen gasps like she's been slapped. Jeffrey wouldn't. Cam, he did. Said you embarrassed the family. Said Ridge Grove wasn't supposed to become your personal plantation. That last word hits harder than a slap. Karen lunges at me, but Marla steps between us. Firm. Marla, let's keep our hands to ourselves, Ms. Whitmore. The HOA board gathers awkwardly near the sidewalk, eyes wide, mouth shut. I raise my voice just enough to carry. Cam, let's talk about what else Karen's been hiding, like her campaign to rezone minority-owned lots, or the forged complaint she filed to block permits for anyone who didn't fit Ridge Grove's image. Harold, the HOA president, clears his throat. Harold will be reviewing every decision she pushed through in the last year. Karen is breathing hard now, mascara smudged, sweat glistening across her brow. Cam, you thought no one would question it. Because I was quiet. Because I'd make waves. Because you saw me as someone who should just be grateful to be here. Karen, I didn't mean... Cam, you meant exactly what you said. Every word. Marla cuffs her wrists. Karen screams, I built this neighborhood. Marla, and now you can explain how you try to bulldoze a man's future, literally. As Karen's hauled toward the cruiser, cameras flash. Local news reporters, tipped off by a friend in code enforcement, arrive just in time. They capture every second. Karen screaming, Marla reading rights, the stunned board watching their queen fall from grace. I don't say another word. I just stand there, watching the house of cards collapse. She tried to erase me. Now the whole town will remember her name for all the wrong reasons. The video of Karen's arrest hits local news by sundown. By morning, it's viral. Clips circulate with titles like, HOA Karen bulldozes black man's home. Didn't know he's a county inspector. My phone doesn't stop buzzing. I ignore most of it. But there's one call I take, my mother's. Her voice trembles with pride. Mom, your daddy would have been so proud. You stood tall, Cam. You made him see you. I can't speak for a beat. I just breathe, let it settle in. The weight of it all. The wreckage. The redemption. Karen Whitmore is officially removed from the Ridge Grove HOA board by unanimous vote. The charges? Felony destruction of property. Fraud. Misuse of HOA funds. Racially motivated harassment. And once the audit team combs through years of shady deals, more is sure to come. She tries to plead ignorance. plays the victim. But nobody's buying it. Even her lawyer looks tired of her. The bulldoze site is roped off with fresh tape, but it's not abandoned. County workers arrive early Monday with concrete trucks and rebar. My project is being rebuilt on the county's dime. Every form filed, every permit reissued, fast-tracked. I visit the lot that afternoon. The sun cuts golden across the ridge. Dust dances through beams of light. And right where the cabin's foundation was flattened, I find something I didn't expect. Harold, the HOA president. He's standing there alone, hands in his pockets. Harold, didn't know she was capable of that. I thought she was just passionate. I nod slowly. Cam, you don't want to know. You thought as long as she wasn't coming for you, it was fine. He exhales, ashamed. Harold, we all did. We let her run things because she was loud, and we were lazy. I'm sorry, Mr. Harmon. He offers his hand. For a long moment, I just look at it. Then I shake it. Cam, I'm not the only one she targeted. There's a whole list. You want to make it right? Start there. He nods. Word spreads. Quietly at first, then louder. Other residents come forward. Black and brown families who were denied porch extensions. Business owners whose flyers mysteriously vanished from the community board. Kids who were followed home because they looked unfamiliar. It all starts unraveling. And for once, people are listening. A week later, the neighborhood holds a meeting. Real attendance this time, not just muffins and whispers. They ask me to speak. I almost say no, but I remember what my dad said when we moved here. They won't see you as less unless you believe it first. Stand your ground. Make your name mean something. So I speak. I talk about respect, about land, about erasure, and about what happens when silence becomes complicity. They listen. They hear me. By the end, I don't need applause. I just want the quiet. The kind that means change is finally cracking through the surface. That night, I walk the rebuilt frame of my cabin alone. It smells like sawdust and fresh concrete, like new beginnings. I sit on the edge of what will one day be my porch, under a sky heavy with stars. No one's yelling. No one's lurking. Just cicadas and wind and the promise of something better. Justice doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it shakes the ground harder than any bulldozer. I'm standing in the garden when the wind shifts warm, humid, carrying the scent of honeysuckle and the faint sting of chlorine from the community pool. The sun blazes overhead, a relentless southern July afternoon. My fingers are stained with potting soil, sweat trickling down my back. But there's peace in the rhythm of it, peace I fought hard for. I moved to this neighborhood in refries last fall, after years of saving, dodging landlords who gave me attitude when I dared ask for basic repairs. The kind who didn't expect someone like me to afford a property out here. But I did, and I earned every inch of this porch, this lawn, this space to breathe. My name's Dr. Miles Carter, 35, black, and board certified in internal medicine. I split my time between the hospital ER and volunteering at the clinic downtown. My neighbors know me, sort of, enough to wave tight-lipped from across the street, enough to ask for advice about blood pressure or cholesterol, but never invite me to their BBQs. It's a mostly white neighborhood, HOA run, strict, pristine. You'd think folks would be busy living their lives. But no, some of them live to police yours. I hear the crunch of tires over gravel and glance toward the mailbox. That white SUV again. Third time this week it slowed down when passing my house. Inside the mailbox, there's nothing. Again, I frown. My prescription was supposed to arrive yesterday. It's nothing serious, just a specialized medication for my post-surgical inflammation. But it's not something you skip, either. And it's not sold over the counter. A unique compound, federally controlled, and tracked the moment it ships. I checked the tracking app on my phone. Delivered, 9:06 a.m. Left at porch. That's a lie. I was home. I would have heard the mail truck. A flicker of unease twists in my gut. I scan the porch, the bushes, even the neighbor's driveway. Nothing. Just as I turn to go back inside, I catch a shape in my peripheral vision. Someone peeking through blinds across the cul-de-sac. A familiar pair of beady eyes and overly blonde hair. Karen Whitmore, president of the HOA, keeper of the neighborhood's values, professional boundary crosser. The kind of woman who calls the police because a black child is riding a bike too fast near her yard. She closes her blinds as soon as I spot her. I pause at the threshold of my door, hands still resting on the knob. The stillness has a new weight to it. It's probably nothing, I tell myself. Maybe it was misdelivered. Maybe it'll show up. But something in the air feels off. That night, I don't sleep well. My phone rests face up on the nightstand, tracking page open. My instincts are whispering louder now. Something isn't right. And in this neighborhood, when things go missing, especially from a black man's porch, there's usually more to the story. The next morning, I'm at the post office by 8:03 a.m., clutching the printed delivery confirmation like a subpoena. I was home all day. I tell the clerk, trying to keep my voice even. There was no knock, no package. She peers at the screen, chewing her lip, says it was delivered directly to your porch, scanned and everything. If it's not there, you'll need to file a missing mail claim. That package was a federally tracked prescription. It's not just a book or a blender. She nods slowly, eyes widening a little. Oh, narcotic class. I nod once. Her posture stiffens. Now she understands. Now it's not just missing mail. It's a federal issue. Back home. The sun is already hot, and I feel it burning the back of my neck as I walk the perimeter of the house, checking every possible hiding place. Nothing. I knock on my immediate neighbor's doors. An older couple to my left. A stay-at-home dad to my right. Neither saw anything. Both give me polite smiles that don't reach their eyes. It's probably just lost, one says. These carriers aren't very reliable these days. They say it like it's fact, like there's no reason to dig deeper, like I should just accept it. But there's a tightness growing in my chest, a pressure, not just about the meds. It's about the fact that things go missing around here, and I'm always the one asked to check my own story twice. I head toward the HOA office trailer parked near the tennis courts, clipboard nailed to the door and all. I almost turn back, but something draws me forward. Karen Whitmore steps out just as I reach the stairs. Perfect timing, like she was watching. Her smile is a practice thing. Thin, polite, patronizing. Dr. Carter, out enjoying the sun. I ignore the pretense. A package of mine is missing. Prescription medication. Tracked. Supposed to be on my porch yesterday. She doesn't blink. Oh, dear. Have you checked with the Postal Service? I have. It was scanned as delivered at 9:06 a.m. That's odd. I don't recall seeing anything unusual from my side. Her side. I glance toward her house across the cul-de-sac. Her porch overlooks mine. Direct line of sight. She notices the look and folds her arms. You know, the HOA has had several reports about unsecured packages left on porches. We've been encouraging residents to collect them immediately to avoid temptation. Temptation. My jaw tightens. So you're suggesting someone took it? She shrugs. Things happen, and it's easy for people to misunderstand. There's something in her tone, a casual implication, the kind that slides in unnoticed, unless you know exactly what to listen for. And I've heard it before. Heard it when a neighbor's car got keyed, and they looked at me first. Heard it when kids rang doorbells and ran, and someone asked if I had any visiting relatives. Karen doesn't need to say it outright. Her words do enough. And now the package is gone. But the real message is louder. You don't belong here. By Thursday, I'm done being polite. I filed a missing mail report. I called prescription service, and they confirmed what I already know. This wasn't some fluke. The package was scanned precisely at 9:06 a.m. GPS verified. Delivered to my porch. And yet, it's gone. I speak with the postal investigator over the phone. We'll need to open a federal inquiry, he says, because of the controlled substance involved. The package was equipped with a micro-tracker embedded in the label. We can triangulate its last known location. Something sharp flickers in my chest. Hope, laced with anger. Do it, I say. By Friday afternoon, the investigator calls back. We traced it to a location across the street. Appears to be 418 Hickory Bend. Karen Whitmore's address. My hands curl into fists at my sides. I knew it. She lied to my face. Smiled while she did it. I knock on her door just after sunset. She opens it halfway, wearing a pink live, laugh, love apron and a frown. I'm making zucchini bread, she says, like I've interrupted a sacred ritual. Then you want to hear this, I say, holding up my phone. I press play. The investigator's voice comes through loud and clear, repeating her address as the package's last known location. Karen's eyes narrow. Are you recording this? Not yet, I say. She crosses her arms. That's ridiculous. The HOA has strict policies about resident packages. If anything arrived at my home, it would have been brought to the lost and found at the office, which, by the way, you should have checked before pointing fingers. I stare at her. You told me you hadn't seen anything. I didn't, she snaps. Not personally, but packages go missing all the time. Maybe someone else took it. I glance past her into the house, where a small white box sits on her kitchen island. Still sealed, just barely visible beyond the doorway. My voice is steel. That package contains federally monitored prescription medication. Taking it, whether you open it or not, is mail theft, a federal crime. She moves to block the view. I think you should leave, Dr. Carter. When I don't move, she adds coldly, I'll call the police. Good. I say, I'll wait out front. By the time the police arrive, Karen's crying. Real tears. The whole trembling voice, damsel in distress routine. This man came to my door shouting. He frightened me, she tells the officer. I thought he was going to break in. I stand calmly beside the mailbox, arms folded. The officer, white mid-30s, buzz cut, turns to me. Sir, were you yelling? No, I say, voice low and steady. I asked her about a stolen package that the postal investigator traced to her address, and I'd like to press charges for mail theft. His brow furrows. You have proof? I hold out my phone. The recording plays. GPS logs. Package ID. Timestamp. The officer listens, face unreadable. Then he walks back toward Karen's house. She hesitates, then lets him in. 10 minutes later, he exits with the package in a clear evidence bag. Karen's face is flush red now, lips pressed tight in a line that shakes. I thought it was a mistake, she says. I was going to return it. I just forgot. But the officer isn't looking at her like he believes her, and neither is the small crowd of neighbors now gathering at the edge of their driveways, whispering in the dusk, because now the cracks are showing. Now, her lies aren't just whispers and innuendo. Now, the story's too big to hide. Saturday morning arrives quiet and heavy. A storm's brewing, not overhead, but in the air between me and Karen. At exactly 10 a.m., I walk into the HOA's monthly meeting, held under a white canopy tent beside the community pool. Folding chairs in neat rows. Neighbors in pastel polos sipping iced tea from plastic cups. Everything smiling and sterile. Until I step in. Heads turn. Karen stands at the front, flanked by 2 board members, clutching a clipboard like a weapon. Her voice is sharp, falsely sweet. Dr. Carter, how nice of you to join us. We were just discussing new community safety policies, especially regarding suspicious behavior. She says it loud enough to stir whispers. I feel eyes on me, half curious, half accusing. Karen's smile stretches. We've had reports of aggression, intimidation, threatening language toward HOA board members. I raise an eyebrow. Are you accusing me of something? She give a light, fake laugh. Oh no, of course not. But we do need to address conduct that makes our neighbors feel unsafe. I step forward slowly, each footstep deliberate. You mean the conduct of mail theft? The crowd stiffens. Karen doesn't flinch. That was a misunderstanding. An unfortunate delivery error. The package was returned, wasn't it? You didn't return it. I say, the police retrieved it after the postal investigator tracked it to your kitchen. I turned slightly to the crowd. For those unaware, it was a federally tracked prescription. Narcotics. Tampering with that kind of mail is a felony. A ripple moves through the audience. Karen scoffs, flipping through her clipboard. Well, you can spin things however you want, but this community values peace. And frankly, some of us feel like you're trying to cause division. She says it with that loaded tone again. Some of us. Code for, you're not really one of us. I'm trying to prevent a crime from being brushed under a rug, I say, and make sure no one else ends up on the receiving end of your misunderstandings. Her smile fades just a little. You really think people can take your word over mine? I step forward again and lift my phone. They don't have to take my word. They can take the evidence. I tap the screen and cast the audio to the nearby Bluetooth speaker. One of the kids must have left it on and synced. Karen's voice floods the tent. If anything arrived at my home, it would have been brought to the lost and found at the office. I didn't see anything. Then the postal investigator's voice. Package was tracked to 418 Hickory Bend, confirmed by GPS scan. Then the officer's voice, faint but clear. We recovered the package inside the home, unopened. A hush settles. Eyes dart between Karen and me. Karen's face turns sheet white. She lunges the speaker, yanking the power cord. This is illegal. You can't just play private recordings. I stay calm. Actually, this is a one-party consent state, and the investigator authorized public release. The HOA vice chair, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, stands up from the board table. Karen, is this true? Karen stammers. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to. I thought maybe someone else dropped it off. But no one's listening anymore. The whispers are no longer curious. They're damning, and I don't need to say a word. I just step back, letting the silence hang like a gavel, because this is no longer just my word against hers. It's facts against entitlement, evidence against performance, and justice is starting to echo. Karen storms off after meeting, cheeks blazing red, murmuring excuses no one's buying. But I'm not finished. Not yet. Because I've seen how these things go, how people like her twist the narrative when no one's looking. So I make sure everyone's looking. That evening, I upload a short clip to the neighborhood Facebook group. Nothing dramatic. Just the investigator's voice confirming the GPS hit on 418 Hickory Bend, overlaid with a screenshot of the delivery tracking log and a simple caption. Package theft isn't just wrong. It's federal. It spreads like wildfire. By Sunday morning, the post has over 300 comments. Neighbors weigh in, some shocked, others admitting they've had packages go missing too, especially those living near Karen. Patterns start to emerge. Patterns people had ignored before. But it's not just comments. It's what I find in my inbox. A private message from Eva Rosario, who lives a few doors down from Karen. She's quiet, works nights at the hospital. We've nodded in passing. Never talked. Her message is short. I think I have footage you want to see. She sends a clip from her security camera, date stamped and crystal clear. Karen, stepping across her lawn in broad daylight, glancing both ways like a kid about to steal candy, then snatching a small white box off my porch and walking briskly back to her own house. Not mistaken. Not found. Stolen. I sit with that clip for a moment, jaw clenched. Then I forward it, first to the postal investigator, then to the police. That afternoon, they return. But this time, they're not just checking in. They knock on Karen's door with a warrant in hand. Word spreads faster than the summer heat. Neighbors gather again, some pretending to water plants, others outright standing on lawns. Phones out, recording, watching. Karen steps outside in a housecoat, looking disheveled and indignant. This is harassment, she yells. I've lived here 15 years. I'm on the board. The officer doesn't blink. Ma'am, you're under investigation for felony mail theft. Step aside. When she sees the clip, her own face on camera, snatching my package, her mouth opens, but no words come. Just a desperate, hollow gasp. She tries to pivot. Of course. I thought it was trash. Or a misdelivery. How was I supposed to know? The officer shakes his head. We've confirmed your fingerprints on 3 other missing packages from the past 6 months. You've been reported multiple times. That breaks something in her. She turns, looking at the growing crowd. You believe this? After all I've done for this community? A woman near the curb, arms crossed, mutters, "Yeah, we do." Another chimes in, "My mom's insulin disappeared in February. I thought I lost it. Now I'm not so sure." Karen's hand trembles as the cuffs click around her wrists. The neighborhood watches silent as she's guided to cruiser. Her world collapses in real time, one lie at a time. The HOA group chat lights up. Board members scramble to distance themselves. By sundown, she's been removed from all committees and listed as under investigation in the community bulletin. And me? I'm just sitting on my porch, sipping tea, package finally in hand, name clearly printed, untampered seal. It's not just about the pills. It's not just about me. It's about what happens when people like Karen believe they're above consequences, when systems protect them because they smile pretty and bake bread. But not this time. This time, the tables turned. Karen's mugshot makes the local news. I find out from a coworker first. He texts me the link with a single word, damn. The article is short, clinical, but damning. HOA board member arrested for federal mail theft in suburban prescription pill scandal. Beneath it, her HOA title, her photo, her stunned, raccoon-eyed face. The comment section? Unforgiving. Imagine stealing someone's meds in this economy. Of course it's the HOA. They think they own everything. But if he wasn't black, she wouldn't have touched his stuff. That one hits. Because they're right. This wasn't just about a package. It was about control. About who's allowed to belong and who gets silently pushed out. Karen's arrest triggers a chain reaction. The HOA issues a formal apology to any residents affected by recent events. They open a new internal audit. And for first time, they actually invite diverse voices into the room. Eva, Mr. Jackson, even me. I politely decline the committee seat, but I show up for the first meeting. Not because I want to govern the neighborhood, but because I earned my space in it. Karen's house goes dark 2 weeks later. A quiet U-Haul shows up before dawn. No one waves. No one helps. She's gone before breakfast. Rumor is she's being sued, not just by the Postal Service, but by 2 neighbors who lost critical medications months back. A third is considering joining. Add legal fees, reputation damage, and being blacklisted from real estate circles? That's a full collapse. That's karma, signed and delivered. But the real win? It's the way my neighbors start looking at each other differently. I walk past the Rosarios, and Eva hands me a lemon pound cake through the fence. "My grandma's recipe," she says with a grateful nod. "Thanks for standing up. A lot of us were afraid to." The Jacksons wave at me from across the street. Mr. Liu, who once gave me a side eye over my garden boxes, now asks if I want to join his weekend poker group. Small things, but real. I won't pretend everything's changed overnight. Bias runs deep. But this neighborhood's been cracked open, and sunlight's finally getting in. A week after Karen moves out, I sit on my porch. Same chair, same breeze. The cicadas hum low. Somewhere down the block, kids are chasing each other with neon water guns. And my package? Delivered. On time. Untouched. I open the seal slowly, not just to check the contents, but to let the moment sink in. Because this box isn't just medicine. It's proof. Proof that sometimes justice does come with a tracking number. That even the loudest entitlement can't outtalk evidence. That people do wake up, even if it takes a storm. I glance at my camera, now mounted higher and angled sharper. Not out of fear, but because I've learned, peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of boundaries that are respected. And mine? Crystal clear now. I exhale, leaning back, a quiet smile tugging at the corner of my lips. Let them try me again. Because next time, I won't just fight back. I'll make sure the whole block hears it.